One of the most common sets of questions I receive in direct messages or comments in our Galactic Get Pipe Pipe Club, that's our Discord, or various Facebook groups is about the varying costs of smoking pipes, typically pointing the finger of uncertainty toward the more expensive pipes out there. You know, what makes a $150 pipe so much better than a $50 pipe? Or is a $250 pipe really 25 times better than my corncob pipe? Does a $500 artisan pipe actually smoke that much better than a $140 factory pipe? Ultimately, the question becomes, what is the difference between a $1 pipe and a $1,000 pipe? Well, I have your answer. About $999. That was stupid. Well met, friends. My name is Adam and this is Get Piped, where we love to pipe. And today's piping is going to be all about the differing prices of tobacco pipes. This one's going to be quite some fun here because I really get to exercise my appreciation for this hobby and this art. I possess quite a range of pipes from the most inexpensive all the way to much more expensive. And yes, I have spent many a dollar on pipes in my time as a pipe guy, but my bank account is like a machine for returning the displayed numbers into packages of pipes upon my front porch. But the good thing is I have more than enough, according to Get Wifed. So let's get into this one. We can start all the way at the beginning talking about a $1 pipe. This is a $1 pipe. It's my daughter's first pipe, actually. Honestly, it's a mediocre piece altogether, but albeit pretty decent for the price, I guess. I just don't love the direction they went with in terms of construction and material. I feel like there are some cheaper alternatives out there that still, maybe give you that rigidness you'd expect of a pipe. But for $1, you can't really beat it. $10 brings us to just straight maybe the best bang for your buck set of pipes. The realm of corn cob pipes. Now, cobs will vary in range from 10-ish up to around $40, but first let's focus on the cheaper side of that. These Missouri Meerschaum corn cob pipes might not be the face of, say, class or personal reflection and study, but they absolutely bear the banner of high-performing smoking pipes. Corn cobs are often associated with either field work, housework, trucking, camping, the like, and are in turn regarded as throwawayables. These pipes that you can bang around and simply replace once they begin to falter. This is absolutely true, but I want to emphasize the fact that their inexpensiveness doesn't mean that they're of a poor quality. There's a reason they are so well loved, and price only plays a small role in that. They smoke fantastically and are often selected for the inaugural taste test of new blends, as corncob properties simply yield a straightforward tasting profile, ideal for trying something new. As you climb into price, cobs can get pretty custom and unique, but their properties for smoking tobacco generally remain the same. Bowls of the $10 versions tend to be made completely of corncob, meaning that the bottom will be susceptible to softening from the moisture collection. As you creep into the $20 and $30 corn cobs, those bottoms will be replaced with a hardwood plug to prevent a poker tool from ever piercing through the bottom of the pipe. The last aspect of these pipes that warrant their cheapness is, well, their aesthetic. Sure, they're classic American, blue-collar, outdoorsy themed pipes, but many pipers today long for something more elegant and maybe a little bit more reflective, that has that reflective aura. And typically, that comes with a higher priced pipe. Cobs might not be the most universal in the sense of timing. I'd probably want a more elevated piece for a quiet weekend pipe after a long work week or a date night on the town. But all that said, cobs are fantastic smokers. They certainly rival the smoking quality and performance of pipes in the $100 range, and I do mean that. But pipes in that range bring the aesthetic that many desire. We'll turn to those next. As we elevate from corn, we get to the true king of pipe making material, briar. Briar is incredibly versatile in terms of shaping and smoke performance, art style, and durability. And this wood is ultimately graded, which plays a very large role in commanding cost. Just like beef, there's some really cheap beef out there, like the sort you find at Old Ronnie's. Then the Buku buck beef, which is found in Japan, right? That Wagyu beef. Same thing with briar. And that defining quality is the wood's grain. Of course, the super pretty, perfect straight grain pipes are going to be very, very rare. And rare means desire, and desire means demand. And if you passed your sophomore year of economics, we know that demand means dollars, baby. The good thing about briar, however, is the grain does not equate to performance. Performance is strictly dictated by the maker, the artisan or the factory worker, or in some cases, a machine. So the cheapo, ugly grain pipe with tons of pits can smoke like the golden holy grail of the straightest, prettiest, most perfect grain pipes out there. But let's talk about some of those pipes across that range. You all know how much I appreciate the Morgan Bones pipes. I made a long video on those like years back that still holds up today. But for $50, you're getting a great smoker for cheap. You sacrifice a quality stem, which is, very important. You sacrifice that pretty grain and any kind of accent and any staining of the pipe. But that said, this type of pipe, this Morgan Bones, commands its own aesthetic and following. But for me, it's the $100 mark that I tend to set my minimum for pipe acquisitions these days. I personally value the aesthetic of a complete smoking pipe, particularly in briar that I know is crafted with care and will perform. Lots of folks dislike Peterson pipes, but I am a staunch believer and supporter. I have many Petersons. This is a great entry into the range of cost. Some might lean towards the $90 mark, while others can climb up to the $250 mark, but a majority will be between $100 and $150. With this, you get a complete piece in either a sandblasted, rusticated, or even a smooth finish, and some may feature nickel bands or even silver. These pipes out of Ireland to me are fantastic starting points. You get the whole completed product, which is a beautiful artistic piece that represents those sought-after qualities of study, reflection, and taste, and even simplicity. Now, while I say Peterson, the true message lies within generally any of the major entry-level factory pipe manufacturers. Savinelli, Genode, Ropp, Nording, Brebbia, the like. Some of those I just mentioned will even offer cheaper options than $100, sometimes in the $50 to $70 range as well. But as we climb the ladder of cost, we find other pipe making shops with more elevated pieces. Smaller, more hands-on approaches, often referred to as pipe craftsmanship shops, as opposed to maybe factory or strictly artisan. Thinking the names like Dunhill, Castello, Lanantra, Ser Jacopo, even Neerup. These branded names mark high class of pipes, especially from the craftsmanship/workshop setting. These typically fall in the $250 range and up to a majority being the $400 mark. Some even exceeding past that of $700 and $800, but bottom line is that these are really the height of quality in any kind of factory or multiple craft station setting. Of course, that is a generalization. Pipe crafters and shops have been around for hundreds of years, and I only mentioned but a few examples, so sure, there are outliers out there, but the spirit of what I'm saying is true. With these brands, you pay for higher graded briar, the use of precious metals and other accents, hand-cut and hand-finished stems of either acrylic or ebonite, and extremely attractive artworks altogether. Though, all things considered, it must be said that this is the point you are paying for the name to a degree. But when it comes to quality control, some of these brands I just mentioned, they're absolutely at the top. You're going to find a Savinelli, a Peterson, or maybe a Nording with some quality issues from time to time. I'm not saying it's justified, but they slip through the cracks of quality control when you produce thousands and thousands of pipes a year. You might find your pipe getting a little bit more moist than you'd want, or maybe the stem is just slightly bent straight off the center. or the stain might look like it lifts ever so gently on one spot of the bowl. This is definitely, I would say, uncommon among these brands, but to have any of those faults applied to, say, a Dunhill or a Castello, well, it's damn near unheard of, and you pay for that guarantee. But sometimes that's just not tangible. So I can see why folks shy away from spending $300 to $400 on a pipe that they would expect to be perfect from one at the $150 range. I totally understand that. I do enjoy my higher end factory pipes a great deal, but if truth be told, I personally don't really see enough value added to justify continuing to purchase them over the cheaper options like, again, Peterson or Savinelli. If I were to arbitrarily make a scale of quality and performance on some of these pipes, I'd say that the Castellos, the Seriacapos, and the Dunhills I've owned probably sit at an 8, 8.2, 8.3 out of 10. Whereas my average Peterson, I'd say, is probably like a 7.4 out of 10. Savinelli's a little bit better, maybe 7.9. To me, these are all great, but a price jump from a $140 Savinelli to, say, a $400 Castello, that's not really worth it. I don't know if that's worth the 0.3 arbitrary system that I just made increase. Again, this is just my take, and obviously the end user will have their own experiences and preferences. But things do shift as we climb even higher up that ladder. But here's probably a great point to throw in kind of a curveball. A pipe that ranks on the 8.6, 8.7 scale of quality for me, so much higher than all the ones I've mentioned, for only $150. Kind of an anomaly, and that's merchant service pipes. Factory priced pipes at Artisan quality, probably because they're made by an Artisan pipe maker. Greg Paula is a perfectionist and a talented pipe maker. To the pipe smoking world, he reintroduced the brand of merchant service pipes, which has its own unique history of its own. Greg starts with brand new production stummels, which is how he's able to keep the cost so low. And if you remember in the beginning, I mentioned that all briar may perform exceptionally poor or exceptionally well alike. It's all up to the hands of the maker that finishes the production. Greg from Merchant Service is the guy you want in order to get an exceptionally well-typed pipe. Using these stummels, he does all of the finishing by hand, his hands alone, which is the missing element in the factory line of pipes, separating the level of quality. You see, when one artisan sees the whole process through, he has the continuity, he has the complete and utter understanding for its design, and therefore can influence its peak performance in the end. My merchant service pipes have absolutely outperformed my Dunhills and Castellos. He does limited drops from time to time and still frequents major pipe shows across the United States. He used to be active on Instagram until his account was hacked, RIP, and then subsequently shut down. Now he tends to just update his website. My favorite of his pieces is this Lavat, which I have raved about on my podcast and been showing you throughout the video. I recently, however, received the super awesome Mega Billiard. I call it the Burley King because it's just so perfect for loading up my massive amounts of cellared Burley tobacco from LJ Peretti. This big billiard is just a massive beauty. The deep blast on the 2-inch bowl is incredibly handsome. Its features are overall muscular yet uniform. The finely cut and shaped vulcanite stem is simple and perfected. I still look at this with marvel when I realize it's only $150. It's hard to pick a Dunhill over that, in my opinion. I'm sorry, not trying to continuously throw shade at Dunhill. I do love the Dunhill pipes I have. I also purchased them as estates, so significantly cheaper than they would have been at the original brand new, but I don't know, whatever. I did, however, buy one brand new Dunhill and it smoked solidly. Again, what, an 8? I think I paid $600 for it. Not worth it. Was not worth it. I ended up selling it. But there are pipes out there for $600, and in my view, absolutely can be worth it. And as we cross that $400 mark, we enter the great expanse of artisan pipe making. Like all things, price points will vary. New artisans typically start around $175 to say $225. As they show promise and experience and hone their craft, they might creep into the 300s. For me, I like to see my Artisan pipes start in the $300 range. It shows me that they have proven themselves as makers and are no longer still trying to figure it out. At say 350 to 375, I expect a piece to be superior to all of my Petersons, Savinellis, and others. The Artisan might still be improving, but that's a lifelong journey. Figuring it out is still a trial period. One last time, this is all broad generalization. There are going to be fantastic artisans out there who have been carving for 30 years and still only charging $199. That is not to say that they're any lesser by any means, but to avoid going line by line on the long list of probably 1, 2, 3, maybe 4,000 active artisan pipe makers across the world, I have to filter in some kind of guideline here. For me, that line is 300s, mid 300s. Additionally, I expect a hand-cut stem on pipes over 300, meaning it wasn't a pre-made blank that was fitted and shaped to the bowl, but rather a pure rod of acrylic or ebonite that became a pipe stem. What you're seeing here is a range of artisan pipes of varying price points, but still all around under the $500 mark. A majority of artisan pipes in this range tend to be sandblasted or rusticated. Smooth grades may appear, but might not have the best grain pattern. It might be quality, but not top tier. And I'll show you what top tier can look like in just a minute, but understand that many of the pipes you see in this price range are sandblasted or rusticated, and that doesn't mean that they're of low quality or poor grade blocks of briar. It just shows that the artisan deemed the block maybe not supreme enough to make it a smooth. Smooth finished pipes will always command higher prices due to their time consumption. It's lots and lots of sanding, and as you sand down and down and down, you risk unraveling cosmetic flaws that would invalidate the whole process, forcing the artisan to rusticate it or sandblast it in the end. That is why you see some quality sandblasted pipes out there with some incredible ring grain. And you might say, why didn't they make this a smooth? Probably because there was one little speck that made that impossible. But you won't see that on the sandblast, so you get some of the best sandblasting out there. So in the interest of time and in turn money, many top artisans only pursue smooth grades on the best blocks. So as we continue to climb the ladder of cost, what will we find? At this point, we meet artistry, true artistry. So don't get me wrong, that's not to say that everything before isn't art. No, it's all art, but functional art. Just like cars. I drive a 2023 Kia Sportage. It's a lease, sure, 48,000 miles over 4 years. Yeah, odometer currently sitting at 58,000 miles, okay, but it's nice, and it's a nice car, and it's a nice to have, absolutely. My Kia, it's got the heated seats, it's got some auto driving a little bit. It's a solid Savinelli. It's got some dress to it, got some class to it, but it's a functional car. It's not a 1996 Ford Escort that I totaled 1 month into having my driver's license. No, it's not a corncob pipe. No, it's not a 2007 Mazda 6 Shift that I totaled when I was a lieutenant. No, it's not a Morgan Bones, but it's a solid, respectable Kia Sportage. Savinelli, Peterson. But as we continue down this long and convoluted analogy, it's certainly not a BMW. My Kia ain't no Castello, and it's definitely no Aston Martin or a Bentley or like a super nice sports car. I don't know, I'm not a car guy. You get the idea. All cars mentioned do the same thing. The more expensive ones can do it a little bit better, but at the end of the day, it's just driving or, in our case, piping. So like cars, after the Kia mark, as you get into the BMWs, as you get into the Audis and those higher luxury cars, you're paying for a form of art alongside performance, but definitely art. That's where the $600 and up pipes of mine take their inspiration. Art and premium performance. These sandblasted pipes are among the best quality and start around $600 to $650. They may feature accents to help accentuate the beauty, but generally speaking, you got a beautiful pipe that's just supremely made. Climbing to the $750 point, we get into another incredibly artistic approach. Fitting for this past October season and now into the November season, this Halloween-themed pipe from Trevor Talbert. I purchased this 2019 Halloween Trevor Talbert pipe way back then at a staggering cost to me at the time. Hell, even now. And it's still one of my favorite pieces. Look how absolutely wild this craft is. All lines are finely carved by hand. The coloring and staining alone also boggles my mind. This is a top piece in my collection. My jaw still drops. But what does another $100 or $200 get you? Some of the most incredible smooth grade pipes I've ever seen. A great opportunity for the camera to do the talking. The last bit I'll add on Artisan pipes is that you're paying for that connection, the connection to them and their work. The direct handshake with someone that you either met or someone whose work you respect. That adds to the Artisan story. And before I show you my $1,000 pipe, if you want more of an understanding, I recommend checking out one of my videos. It was titled The Case for Artisan Pipes and The Art of Italian Pipe Maker, Il Cerchio Pipes, 2 different videos. Both do a great job at selling the Artisan story and in turn, the unseen value that comes with these expensive pipes. But as we close, this is a $1,000 pipe. This shape is called the Nautilus, and it is incredibly difficult to make. It also requires a very large and perfect block of briar. Nothing can go awry in its construction, all from the very first step of the block selection all the way to the final polish and finish. It takes a special kind of artist and craftsman to see one all the way through to the very end. So here we are. The difference between a $1, $10, $100, and $1,000 pipe. In short, no. A $1,000 pipe does not smoke 1,000 times better than a $1 pipe. Okay, well in this case, maybe, but does a $1,000 Il Cerchio Italian crafted pipe smoke 100 times better than a corn cob? Absolutely not. Much better? Sure. How much better? Maybe $200 worth, $300? That's up to you to decide. But in the end, we find that we're not paying for pure performance. It's the skill, the art, the design, the connection, and the story. But what about a $10,000 pipe? Oh yeah. No, absolutely not. But it was cool to hold. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun putting it together. Please join the conversation and share your experiences with both the cheaper pipes and maybe the more expensive pipes that you have in your collection. Throw them down in the comments below. Tons of new pipers come in and learn from you guys as they read these comments through and through. Give your 2 cents or your $900 to me so I can get another $1,000 pipe. No, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please make a YouTube account and subscribe to my channel. Consider listening to the Get Pipe podcast that airs every single Thursday at 4 a.m. in the morning. That's redundant. It's a good place to stay up to date on all pipes events, pipe smoking events, pipe news, everything, future projects as well, giveaways that we do, in-person meetups, and well, I guess just some great pipe smoking content. But for now, I am off to save the pipe smoking world. Once again, I don't know how I'll pull it off. Until then, you've all just been piped, and until the next piping, I'm out.